What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to, of course, be talking about with you guys. For those of you who haven't heard about this right now, it is currently being reported that the San Antonio Spurs are going to be one of the most interested teams in trying to get Ben Simmons. It's currently being said that count the San Antonio Spurs in among the teams that are very, very interested in trading for Philadelphia 76ers star Ben Simmons. San Antonio has plenty of young talent they could use in a deal along with picks, something to keep an eye on. And this is all being reported by Evan Macy. So I actually believe this to be a very, very good thing for the San Antonio Spurs. For some reason, I just feel like Ben Simmons would fit in with Greg Popovich so well. Like, Popovich, I feel like if there's a coach in the NBA to get the most out of his players, it could be him. And honestly, I've been saying they should go after Andrew Wiggins for a while now, because I honestly thought if there's anyone that can bring that all-star, kind of play out of Andrew Wiggins, I feel like it would be Greg Popovich, especially, considering we've seen Popovich utilize the mid-range game very heavily before. And of course, Andrew Wiggins is a very lethal mid-range shooter when he's at his best. But it was to never be. They never got Andrew Wiggins. But now they could go after another dude that I actually think would be perfect for the San Antonio Spurs. Not just, of course, Popovich potentially bringing the best out of him, but more so as well the fact that I think Ben Simmons would actually fit really nice with this Spurs team. And I actually believe there is a player the Philadelphia 76ers could get back, which would make a lot of sense. I genuinely believe Demar Derozan, he will not be back on this team next year. Even if they do bring in Ben Simmons, he's just not staying, I don't think. We've heard before that Demar Derozan is going to be looking at going to an Eastern, conference team. And that the big rumors are going to be the New York Knicks, considering they've got like nearly 2 max spots available. And it looks like they're interested in trading for Dame, so they could probably swing a situation where they could get Dame and DeMar. But honestly, I think the Philadelphia 76ers would be a very nice team for him to maybe go to. And here's my reasoning behind this. Now, there has been another player as well who has been very much wanting to go to the Philadelphia 76ers, it looks to be. And that's actually Kyle Lowry. And let me tell you how this gets done. So, before I talk about Ben Simmons and how good it would be for the Spurs, let's talk about the DeMar DeRozan side of things. I believe DeMar DeRozan would be involved in this trade package. It would be a sign and trade. I think the Philadelphia 76ers, what they'd get back for Ben Simmons, would probably be DeMar DeRozan, of course, on that sign and trade. And then they'd probably just get, who knows, a protected first round pick in the future. That's probably it. At least the Spurs would get something for a player that's going to leave eventually. Of course, they'd have to give up probably a protected first round pick to do so. But you bring in a dude like Ben Simmons, who I think can be a franchise player for them. And of course, I think he could develop really nicely under, Greg Popovich. But again, when we're looking at this Philadelphia 76ers side of things, basically, I genuinely believe DeMar DeRozan will take a pay cut to be able to play with Kyle Lowry again. I strongly believe this. We've heard it before that there are rumors about it, and I think it will potentially happen. And let's just say he goes to the New York Knicks. He's going to be on 30 to 35 million a year, most likely, because he showed that he's an all-star again. Even though he didn't make the team this year, he definitely should have, and he's an all-star caliber player that will be on a max contract. So he will be wanting that from the New York Knicks. But if he has a chance to play with the Philadelphia 76ers and play with his mate Kyle Lowry, he's going to want to go there. And the only way they're going to be able to play together is if he goes for cheap. So I believe Ben Simmons is on a $30 to $35 million contract right now. So I think DeMar would probably sign like a $23 million contract, or a $20 million contract. It probably starts off at $20 million in the first year, and then it will eventually go up to like $30 million on the 4th year. That makes a lot of sense. Of course, it can, be backloaded really. And then the way they'll do this is, because they make this trade, they'll probably save about 10 to 12 million off, Ben Simmons. And then what I think they'll do is, they'll definitely say to the Toronto Raptors, we'll go for a sign and trade. Basically, we'll overpay a player, and then we'll trade him for Kyle Lowry. But because you probably don't want to take this overpaid player, we'll give you a first round pick or something in return. So at least the Toronto Raptors actually get something for Kyle Lowry as well, instead of him just, leaving really in free agency and they get absolutely nothing. So again, the first round pick, it would have to be in there. But the overpaid play they could do, I think you could probably look at a dude like Korkmaz, who will be a free agent. I think what you do is to make the contracts match up. Of course, the Philadelphia 76ers will probably have, again, that $12 million spare from the Ben Simmons trade. So they'll probably say, hey, we'll look to do the same situation with Kyle Lowry, sign him on $23 million, and then, of course, he can eventually go on to $30 million. So basically what I think they do is, they've got $12 million free, so they need to find another $10 million somewhere. I think they'll sign Korkmaz to like a $10 million deal and then sign and trade him to the Raptors. And I think the Raptors wouldn't actually mind this at all, because he's actually a really good role player, and I think he'd give them decent minutes. $10 million is probably an overpay, but when we're in a league where shooters are getting overpaid, I don't think it would matter too much. And then a first round pick probably for Kyle Lowry. And that's how the Philadelphia 76ers get Kyle Lowry, and they'll probably re-sign Seth Curry, then DeMar DeRozan, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, probably re-sign Danny Green, George Hill, and of course Dwight Howard to come off the bench. Now, will this happen? Who even knows? Cap situations in the NBA right now are really, really difficult to, read, and what I probably just said then might be a little bit unrealistic and might not actually happen. But when the Philadelphia 76ers, again, as I'm checking it right now, they will be paying Simmons probably $33 million next year if they don't trade him. There is a way they can probably get this done. Well, if you're a San Antonio Spurs fan, there is a lot to get out of this. Oh, and not just to mention as well, Danny Green's on a $15 million contract, which will be declining. So again, the Sixers will have some cap to move around there as well. And Mike Scott's $5 million, which will also be declining. That's pretty evident. Like, that makes a lot of sense. They'll have a lot of money to spend, Philadelphia, if they can do all this sign and trade stuff. But again, San Antonio, how this kind of works for them is you bring in Ben Simmons, and you probably start him at the power forward, but he'd probably be your main ball handler. I think they'll still be able to, use their pick this year. Originally, in my mock draft, I had them taking Josh Giddey. Probably not going to happen now, considering, of course, they already bring in Ben Simmons from this trade. I still think the Pelicans will take Corey Kispert, but let's just say they don't. Corey Kispert falls down to the Spurs. You 100% take him. He is a lethal three-point shooter who would be really nice with Ben Simmons. Then if we're looking at this starting lineup, what I think it would genuinely be would be point guard DeJounte Murray. He'd start there, bringing some really nice defense, 5.4 assists, 16 points per game. Needs to get that 3-point percentage up. Then I think at your starting shooting guard position, you'd probably roll with Keldon Johnson, I would think. Get him in. He needs to improve the three ball as well, but he's still 13 points per game, 6 rebounds. Then at small forward, you would have Corey Kispert, who will probably come in and average you 35 to 40% from 3. He'd be a really nice shooter. Then Ben Simmons at power forward. And then, of course, you'd have, Jakob Poeltl at that center position. Then off the bench, you would have Derek White, Lonnie Walker, Rudy Gay if they bring him back, Patty Mills if he comes back, and Devin Vassell, who will also be there, and whoever else they go and sign/draft. Then when you look at that team's a playoff team in my opinion. Like, the team right now finished 10th, and really, you lose DeMar DeRozan, but you bring in Ben Simmons, Corey Kispert most likely, and you probably go out and sign some players here and there. And I think the team overall improves from what they did last year anyway. I think this team nearly makes the playoffs. It'd probably be like an 8th seed, then I think you still keep, building onto it. But I think there's a lot to, kind of work with the San Antonio Spurs team. So I think the possibilities are really endless. So I think it'd be very interesting to kind of see how this whole entire situation really does come about. But of course, if you haven't already, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? Do you guys think a trade like this would eventually, maybe work? Again, I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions. Don't forget to subscribe to my, gaming channel and my IRL/long channels. And don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already. And just subscribe to this channel for all latest sports content news if you haven't already. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.